What up, everyone? DJ Nubis here with you on the Mailtime Radio podcast, doing another movie review. Just got out not too long ago, seeing Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, the second one in the series for Doctor Strange. Gonna get this all the way. There may be some spoilers in here. I'm trying to avoid most of it because the movie's still brand new. However, if you have not seen it, don't watch this yet. Even like I said, I'm not going to try to give away too much, but there are going to be some stuff as I describe the plot and everything that could ruin it for some people. So do not watch if you don't want it for to be ruined. So there might be some spoilers. Okay. So I watched Rob from ETN the other day. Yesterday or the day before he went to see it. I think it was yesterday. And he did a little quick review in his car after he got done seeing it. And, he went and said some things that kind of misled people a little bit, saying that there weren't any mutants in this movie. And I'm like, after watching this movie, I'm just like, really, dude? Really, Rob? Really? This is what you're going to do? Really? So I'm going to get to that in a minute. First and foremost, the director, Sam Raimi. Well known, of course, for TV shows like Hercules and Xena, as well as the Evil Dead series and stuff like that. So there's more to that I'll get to in a few moments. Soundtrack by Danny Elfman. Very good stuff. Great soundtrack there. Cinematography is awesome. It's outstanding with great colors and visuals, which we kind of expected because most of Strange movies are kind of done like that now. So, and plus with Scarlet Witch as well, like the stuff that she's been involved with TV series and her powers and stuff. There's a lot of great visuals with that. No different here. Very cool stuff. The cast is huge. A lot of familiar faces. I'm going to go through some for you. Benedict Cumberbatch, of course, is returning Doctor Strange. Benedict Wong is returning as Wong. He plays a factor in this film. Elizabeth Olsen is Scarlet Witch. Wanda Maximoff. Dude, I'm telling you, like, she's awesome. Like, I love her look, and it's amazing in this film. I can't get over it. Like, just gorgeous and powerful as hell in this too. Like, it's really kind of uncanny. We're introduced to reintroduced to one character, but introduced to a brand new one. The one that we're reintroduced to is Rachel McAdams, which I know is one of Neko's favorite actresses, who returns as Christine Palmer. So she has a bigger role in this film than she did in the first. Then I don't want to butcher the name, but I'm going to try here. Xochitl Gomez. Xochitl? I don't know. I apologize to her. She plays America Chavez. And she's like our main goal, just under Doctor Strange here in Scarlet Witch. So we do have some cameos in regards to the alternate universe that we have in here. There is a point where we meet a group of individuals, super beings. Now, I can't remember the actress who plays the alternate version of Captain Marvel. She looks familiar, though. I do apologize. And then there's a gentleman who I have no idea who his character is, but Strange actually just called him Four-Kid. Like, he has, like, I think it's Bolt. Is it right? Bolt? I think Bolt. He has, like, pretty good powers. Which, of course, when you watch between those people and their fight with Scarlet Witch, it's amazing. Now, the other appearances here for cameos are Chiwetel Ejiofor, and I know I butchered his name too. He plays Baron Mordo. I remember him mainly, though, from Serenity. Like, his character in that was amazing. Really no different here. He played the character very well. I have no idea who his character is. But certainly a great character for him. Haley Atwell, who many will know through the Captain America series, is Peggy Carter. She plays the alternate version of Captain America. And dude, she fucking kills it. It's awesome. She's very good in this. John Krasinski, for those that are familiar with Parks and, oh no, it's The Office. Excuse me, I was with Parks and Rec, but no, it's The Office. But he plays Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four. And then finally, the biggest surprise probably, and maybe why Rob doesn't consider him actually a mutant, but technically he is Patrick Stewart returning as Charles Xavier. And yeah, I was really happy to see him in here. It was like really fun. But you know, I'm not sure if this is where we're now going to find that crossover that we're going to talk about going forward, because they've always been talking about how the X-Men might end up crossing over into the other part of the Marvel universe. So this may be that gateway. Like, you know, and I'll probably talk about this a little bit more, but the whole multiverse thing, there's a lot that I'm so unclear about, and I wish people would take the time to kind of explain it to me, because between this and, of course, the TV series Loki on Disney Plus, like, there's a lot of shit going on. And then we're not even counting Endgame, where that kind of started, where we started going back in time and going through, jumping through timelines. So there's a lot of shit going on. I know that the new Thor movie will be coming out soon, which probably deals with a lot of that too. But I'm really having a hard time keeping this shit straight in terms of how all this works, because it's still very confusing for me. Now, my favorite cameo of the entire fucking movie is a small part. He's in it twice. Is Bruce Campbell. And he plays like a hot dog stand guy. And I'm not going to say a whole lot more on it, but I will say that in his particular character, if you're catching it, he's basically giving a nod to Evil Dead 2. It's so fucking hilarious. And I couldn't stop laughing. Like, I think while most people kind of thought it was funny, I'm not sure if most people actually got the reference in it, but there was a few that did. And I might get a little bit more about that too. In fact, I'll talk about it right now, just because I'll forget about it. My ADHD will kick in. I'll just totally space it. But before I get into any more about the actual premise of the film and whatnot, and maybe again, some of you people who watch this can maybe jump in the comments and explain both the multiverse shit with me, and explain to me how you feel about how audiences are receiving this later stage phase of Marvel. Okay. When I went to see Morbius a few weeks ago, pretty much around opening week, and I probably was like a Thursday or Friday, I was probably like one of 5 people in that theater. Today, Friday, it was full. It wasn't cramped, but I mean, I had about 15 to 20 people in there, okay? Last night, I know they only had 2 showings, and even though I was busy with Samurai, I saw that they were full. Like, the theaters were full. So people were going to see this. My question to you is, do you think people are responding more to Strange because they already are familiar with the character because of the rest of the universe? Like, are we at a point again with, like, you know, the Defenders and Jessica Jones and all this stuff where people don't really know these characters, so they're not really flocking out to see this kind of stuff or even wanting to watch it? Aside from the diehard comic book people, because to me, I was a little surprised. I didn't expect a lot of people to come jump out at this. I knew people would want to see it. I just didn't expect it to be as full as it was, like, right away. But Morbius, I think it didn't really do as well, you know, in terms of like audiences. Forget the review part of it. Like, you know, just depend, you know, the plots and how good the movies were compared to each other. I think this movie is like far better than Morbius. But I appreciate that they were, again, introducing another character. I think when I look at the response to people coming out and seeing these films, it was like night and day for me when I was going in the theater. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's just people are more familiar with a lot of these other characters that they'll come out and see this? as opposed to other Marvel films that are, even though part of this universe, that they just don't care about. Okay, so the premise here of the movie, as I point out, the new girl, new character showing up, she's the only version of herself in the entire multiverse. So where we know that there are different Captain Americas, Doctor Strange, whatever, America herself is the only one of her kind. And the interesting thing is she's the only one that can actually, power wise, jump from multiverse to multiverse and universes. So she can do that on her own. Don't need a tesseract for that kind of shit. Don't need like little this, that, or whatever. She can do it at will. The only problem is, really early on, she doesn't have any control over it. And so the only time that it activates is when she's very scared or upset. And so that, and that comes to play a little later with Strange and everything else. So as she's got this power, there's someone pursuing her. Like they're chasing her down with demons, trying to harness that power and take it from her. So she ends up in one part of the universe with a different Doctor Strange, and then ends up being teleported to where our current Doctor Strange is, with the Strange that we're all familiar with from our movies that we've been watching. So I call it our Doctor Strange because he's in our part of the universe here, the one we're familiar with. And at first, he's been having like what he thinks are dreams. And then it comes to find out that he's been seeing in real time what's going on with her, but not really knowing if it was real or not. So now he's trying to figure out who she is, why they want her, whoever wants her, and then of course, how to handle protecting her and what it all means. Again, I'm not a comic book connoisseur. I don't have a history of reading a lot of comics. Obviously, I'm familiar with some here and there, but nothing deep down or major. So when it comes to the comic book world, all this is new to me. Like I knew certain characters that even like Scarlet Witch, I didn't even know about until these movies, right? So same with Strange. Obviously, I knew about Wolverine or Blade or Captain America, Iron Man, stuff that was pretty mainstream. I already kind of knew about, but some of these other ones that we've discovered, Black Panther and whatever, I just didn't know about. Going into this film, when I remember seeing the trailer, and kudos to Marvel for this because I did not know. Now, again, spoilers, please. If you don't want to know certain things, I'm not trying to give out spoilers, but in essence of explaining the movie a little bit, I kind of have to, without giving you like the total ending or anything else. But in order to explain what's going on, I have to do this. So again, if you've gotten this far and you're getting worried, please stop, come back later if you need to. I did not realize in this movie that Scarlet Witch was going to be the villain. Did not know that. I thought there was going to be this team up because even though I knew what happened at the end of WandaVision and how hurt she was and how she had become Scarlet Witch and left and took away herself. There's even a point early in the film when Strange first comes to her that you think that she's just kind of living in solitude and just chilling, not trying to be a part of the world. And of course, not long after, we are exposed to the ultimate plan by her. So her plan is to capture America, which sounds funny because it sounds like she's trying to capture the entire nation, but that's not. It's a person. Capture America and then take her essence, which is the power she has to travel to multiverses. Wanda's goal here is because she's still feeling lonely and the pain from having to kill Vision and everything else, that she wants to have her kids. And if you've watched WandaVision, you would know she created this whole world for herself to where it was like a TV show and she can just live like a happy family without worrying about the the sadness and the despair of everything else. So she had created that whole world with the kids and everything else. And so now she's decided or discovered that in these other multiverses, there does exist a version of herself with the kids. So she's wanting to be able to jump to multiverses and basically find one where she can take over that Wanda there and become the mother that she wants to be. She doesn't want to take over the entire universe and be a ruler, even though she would have the power to do so. That's not really what she wants to do. She just wants to be able to be with her kids. That's really what it comes down to. But there are problems with that. Obviously, to take the power from America means killing America. And they actually bring it up at one point as to, like, why kill her if she can just open a portal for you and let you go to one particular place, even though that means taking over and probably killing the Wanda that's there, which Strange points out at some point. But Wanda has kind of thought about this too, and she's like, look, if my kids get sick, I can jump to any multiverse and find a cure. So that's her whole reasoning behind actually taking on all the power of jumping from multiverse to multiverse. Even though Iron Man is not in this film, there is a certain sect of individuals that Strange runs into, and they have basically robots that look like little Iron Men that are like their warriors or guardians, and they protect them. And the interesting thing about them is their emblem on their chest. It's not the blue goalie thing that Iron Man had, but it's more like a yellow jewel, which kind of reminded me of the Mind Stone from Vision. So for a quick second, I thought we might actually get to see Vision, or maybe the form of Vision that we saw from WandaVision that had left. Because I was like, when they were introducing this sect, I'm like looking at these robots. I'm like, oh wow, that looks very familiar, like the stone. But it's probably just coincidence, of course, unless they want to. The way that they explain the sect of their name, it does kind of make me wonder if maybe we see Vision down the road. I just don't know if that's going to happen or not. I don't know enough about the comic book series or anything, or if that's even the way they're going to go. But that just, I don't know if anyone else caught that besides me. I just thought, wow, that really looks like, Vision there. And so when they were taking Strange to this sect, I'm thinking, oh my God, Vision's going to be there, right? This is going to be him ruling this particular universe. But it wasn't. Not what I expected. And of course, the other surprises that came with that. Yeah, so there are 2 post-credit scenes at the end of the film. And both very small. One of them has someone that we see early in the film, which is very quick. The other one is still kind of a quick scene, but it shows a new super being that I'm not familiar with. But it looks like that the super being character is being portrayed by Charlize Theron. So I'm not really sure what to make of that. Like, I don't know. It's not important if people tell me who she's supposed to be. I mean, I'm sure I'll read up on it at some point by watching other reviews and stuff. But it looks like that's going to be part of the 3rd movie for Strange, because it did say that Doctor Strange will return. It's almost like the James Bond thing, like, Doctor Strange will return. They just don't say in, whatever movie, but they do have that in there. Ranking this film, 9 out of 10. It's good. It's much better than Morbius, much better than the Eternals, which I finally ended up watching. Again, when I go back to talking about the reaction that people have to certain movies, like, are we getting just too convoluted with all these other characters that we aren't that familiar with? I love the fact that Marvel is fine with opening up this whole universe, because it gives you a lot to choose from. Let's face it. There are some people that I've read or talked to say, yeah, I really like Jessica Jones series. I really like that. that's fine, because that gives you an audience for that particular character, or Iron Fist, or like Daredevil. That particular series, Daredevil and Punisher, I really enjoyed those two particular series, but I was kind of already familiar with them. But when it comes to Morbius or the Eternals, like there's really only even a smaller percentage of fans who are fans of those characters. I actually am intrigued by Morbius as a character. It's just that the movie didn't really live up quite to what I would wanted out of it. But if you saw that, you saw there was another post credit scene there that's cool, because it has a character I do like from the Spider-Man movies in that. So this is a good film. The thing about it is, like I said, Scarlet Witch is the villain in this, but there does seem to be a sense of redemption again for her towards the end. The only question is, it doesn't let you know if what happened to her. Like, we do know she does something when she finally leaves. I won't give that part away, but what we don't know is where she goes. And so I really like her character. There's a part of me that's kind of bummed that she was the villain in this, but there's a part of me that understands, especially when you follow it from WandaVision to this, which makes a lot of sense. So, 9 out of 10, pretty good film. Definitely one of the better ones of the year. Up there with Northman, was really good. So far, 2022 is having a pretty good year in terms of films thus far. So this was good. And thank you all for checking it out. Go check it out in the theaters. It's worth it. And enjoy the rest of your weekend, folks.